Hey you guys, it's Trey, and today we're going to talk about dirty drums. So here we go. A while back, a client that I was working with brought in a ballad, but they told me that they really liked sort of live acoustic sampley dirty drums. I did accommodate the client, and I think it came out interesting. The drums sound interesting. They seem to love it. So let me play it for you. Let me break down the drums and show you what I did using an acoustic kit, but also layering it with some sounds that gave it a little bit more dirt, a little more grit, made it feel maybe a little bit more hip-hop.
I hope that she knows that you don't like your curly hair. I hope that she knows you're obsessed with every single shoe you wear. I hope that she knows you still have your old teddy bear. I hope that she knows you the way I do. Hope she savors every smile. Hope she loves your crazy laugh. Hope she stays for a while. Hope she holds you when you're sad. Hope she knows that you love music. Hope that she can understand that in your heart you're still a child, even though you're supposed to be a man. I hope that she knows that you hate being alone. I hope that she knows you wish your parents would come home. I hope that she knows sometimes you pretend to be okay. I hope that she treats you right, better than you treated me.
Okay, so let me talk about the drums a little bit. First of all, I normally reduce any MIDI components of my session to audio by the time I'm done. But often with this plugin, Addictive Drums, I won't necessarily, because Addictive Drums really is its own sort of layered, processed component that if you want to break it out into your session with individual drums, you can. But if you really want to kind of have the full tonality with the master bus plugins that they run in the plugin, which are super cool the way they did it, I just tend to leave it in the session as is. So first of all, if you're familiar with Addictive Drums, the kit that I'm using in this case, it's from a kit called Fairfax Volume 2. And the drums are raw, primitive, really kind of rock. They have great punch and tone. I really like the Fairfax kit a lot. And I started with the basic patch they have in there called Wanna Dance. So let me play that for you by itself so you can hear what I'm doing with that. All right, so let me show you some of the processing I have on the drums to kind of grit up, dirty up the sound. It's just the Addictive Drums plugin. All right, so the first plugin I ran is called the Empirical Labs Distressor. I don't know how many times I've recorded live drums in a studio. You look over, the engineer is running a bus through the distressor. So here we go. Listen to what it's doing here. All right, adding some power, some punch, some dirt. Okay, so the next thing I've got going on here is now I'm running it through one of these old school 1176 plugins. And this really does add some grit to it. And that's where the real dirt, big room, big live sound starts to come in. All right, so next I'm running just an EQ where I'm doing a little high pass. So check this out. You notice there's just a lot of subs. So I reduced some of the subs there. And also, if you notice on my EQ, I actually put a little bit of a notch here at 100. So clean up the low end, give it a little more punch where it's happening down there. In this last plugin, all I did was just put another notch there around 65. So the last plugin in my chain, just another EQ, I just put another little notch here at 65 dB. You know, that just adds some beef down there. So I like that, but I felt like it needed some more grit, some more punch. So let me show you some other components I build around the kit. First of all, there's this loop that's playing along with it. Just adds a little bit more of a sampley quality to it. This is the loop with no processing on it. That's the actual sound of the loop. This is the NLS channel. It gives it a little grit, a little dirt. It's kind of a tape saturation plug-in. And now with frequency, if you look, I'm doing an extreme high pass, some low pass. So I'm going for a radio sound here. Check it out. So let me show you the next loop that I've got going on to play along with this, and again give it even more of a sampley sound. Kind of some of the same tricks I'm using on the other stuff. I've really given kind of a radio frequency with the EQ. So I'm just keeping the frequencies I want that make it sound really samply. I'm running kind of old school 1176 revision A, great grit, dirt, cool sound on that compressor. And then the last thing I did was rolled off a little bit more of the low end. I think what was happening was once I ran the 1176, it was compressing and bringing back some of the subs that I had taken out, and it's just adding to the whole kind of a hip hop, old school hip hop sound. Addictive Drums, first sample loop, second. One of the things I brought in here is this, and that's just a hit that happens every now and then. Okay, it's super dirty. I use one of my favorite plugins to get that. I'm using the Combinat, rolling off all the low end. Don't need that low end. I just need the dirt and grit of the sound. Running a different 1176 here. The final kick that I brought in is this one. I've got most of the low end already wanted from the Addictive Drums kick. So again, you see that I've rolled out quite a bit of low end. Putting the whole thing together. And last but not least, I put a little Tambourine Hit. So just to get a little bit of color there on that snare hit. So the whole thing together.
Hope she savors every smile. Hope she loves your crazy laugh.
Super fun. The artist really loved it, so I felt like we had a success there. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it that was worthwhile. If you did, please like, please subscribe. You need to hit that notification bell if you want to know every time that I put out a new video, which I'm trying to get one out at least once a week. All right, you guys, take care, and until next time.